just
I'm
that
so
simple.
excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I get to be distracted.
It's Mr. Mom, like, since Sunday. Sunday. And I was this morning when I did my run, I like in my tweet, like, something, I don't feel like I'm on all cylinders here.
I saw that.
And when I was just finished making dinner,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, I don't think I've been rehydrating enough during the day, like, because I've been so busy with, the single dadding.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been, after the runs, I don't think I've been my normal intake of water.
Your runs?
Yeah,
Oh, I guess you could kind of call your runs the runs.
Right. Yeah.
Based on that story.
I pounded another, like, electrolyte thing because I was just like, I still don't quite feel like I'm...
Yeah.
Like, got the full motor.
Interesting thing about rehydrating. I read an interesting article maybe a week and a half or so ago, and they were talking about water is great for rehydrating, but things with a little bit of sugar and a little bit of salt in it's even better.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is interesting, and I think that's a kind of a known thing, but everyone says water, 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 but really things that have a little bit of salt, a little bit of salt, a little bit of sugar in them, actually.
Yeah. Did you almost get attacked?
Yeah. Are actually better for hydration.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
So
maybe you need just a pound of sugar in some water.
Oh, good God. No.
I'm totally joking.
Good God.
No, that would be awful.
Now, that's the big, like, marketing dupe, right? Gatorade.
No.
I mean, if you go into any, like, endurance running or, sports, rehydration, re-electrolyting, people will be like, don't drink Gatorade. It's so loaded with sugar that it's not helping.
Yeah, they say something like Gatorade's too much sugar.
Yeah.
But one of the things about Gatorade, I think, which helps it be okay, is they put enough sugar and salt in it. That makes you want to drink a ton of it. You ever notice that? When you drink Gatorade, you just want to go.
Yeah.
It's because there's that... I don't know. There's something about the amount of salt in it.
It just, like, dehydrates, so you want to rehydrate.
Maybe
it's like what? It's like it feeds its own cycle.
Yeah. It's really weird. Well, hey, I would just like to say welcome to the show.
Welcome to Sad Dad's Club podcast,
episode 56.
56. I'm the Foo, and if you can't read it,
and I'm Jim.
And you can't if you're just listening, but if you're watching it, then you can see.
Yeah, you can see.
Although it would be, is it going to show up in reverse?
Shouldn't.
I don't know.
No, if it's in reverse, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, I'll flip it just to fuck around with people.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a weird thing about the whole hydration.
I have learned so much more about how I ran wrong and how I sported wrong.
Sported?
Yeah. In the last 6 months, 6 to 8, since February, since I started, like, figuring out how to do shit right, because old and trying to retrain myself.
Yeah.
I think 5 to 6 years ago,
correcting the habits.
Yeah, I did a triathlon where I just thought, I still did it with, like, what I learned as a high school athlete, 20-year-old, just blast through it, and, into my 30s, like, figure it out, just
Yeah.
Totally wrong.
Yeah. Well, how do you get who's telling you what you're doing wrong? Are you...
A number of, like, paying attention, like, old aged running studies, as well as what's currently being shared as far as, like, methodology on hydrating
You're not talking about the mechanics of the running. You're talking about.
I have paid attention. Yeah,
I've
learned that too. Like, I used to have this stupidly long, like almost like a sprinter's stride, that I would just. That's how I ran.
Uh-huh.
You get over 5K with 3 miles with a stride like that, and it absolutely starts to just like wreck my hips. It was like, well, you need to have a cadence or like a foot thing that's much faster than how I would run. I'm like, I've never run that way.
Wrong lengthy strides.
And I can get so much more distance running. It's almost like a pitter patter.
Were you doing distance before though, or was this?
No, I think the last time I hadn't run this far this year in almost probably 2 decades. I would do like the turkey trots and
You're
the
dating yourself now.
I am. Fucking seriously. 5Ks were not a problem, but nothing consistent.
Mm-hmm.
I have not run this far, consecutive and consistently in probably 20 years.
Yeah, it's been.
And even then, I had never trained for something like a marathon since I was 19, and I just brute forced it. I didn't even train for that either. I've never run this far.
I mean, even when I was soccer player back in the day, which I super love. I mean, training was like, I have to go to practice.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to I don't go to practice. And like running laps around the field or some shit like that was torture. I couldn't. I always just wanted to be on the field and kicking the ball.
Like the intervals are like a Venus and her team of ladies who are training for the marathon. They run, I think, practically everything as far as their training as an interval. I don't, but I've seen plenty of. If you're looking to better your pace, get more out of your bang for buck as far as your training, intervals are key. I remember doing that in high school for like cross country and track, and it was they had this thing called the Quicksilver Taper, and it was you did a 400, then a 300, then a 200, and then 100, and each one of those. You ran flat out, and then the space in between the next one, that was your rest. So you blasted a lap.
So this wasn't like days. This was all on the same day.
This is all the same day. This was I think we would do 3 of these. Okay. So it was like haul ass around a lap, jog, a quarter of the track. You hit the quarter, and you all the way around, and then you got half a lap to rest. Jog. A 200. Jog. And it fucking, look, a spam caller.
Those are the best.
I love it. Hated those. Yeah. Absolutely hated those. But those are the best things for training if you're trying to get faster. What else? When a marathon, as far as like rehydrating, your body can contain roughly about 2 hours of energy. Like you can rip through.
And what's it take to run a marathon? Like 3 hours ish?
Well, did you just see the thing with that guy?
No.
The first man to crack a 2 hour marathon. His pace was 4 minutes and 34 seconds.
Oh my God.
I could not, even in high school, I could not.
A single
lap. Yeah. I could not sprint a lap that fast. I think my fastest lap in high school, high 5 minutes, like 5:40. But that's a sprint. Like right. I couldn't crank something like that back to back. There's no way. This guy did it for 26.2 miles.
That's crazy.
Absolutely unreal. So your body can. From start to just start running, has enough energy to sustain you for about 2 hours of that type of activity. And then...
I disagree.
Yeah, right? And then what happens is somewhere along there, if you're going for more than that, you have to figure out a way to ingest sugar, calories, energy, and hydrate because you've essentially expended what your body can put out.
Mm-hmm.
And that typically falls into place right at like for most people, most average people, half the marathon.
So Tony, who was a guest host while you guys were gone, he is.
I bet if he's listening, I bet he's fucking like.
He's a long distance runner, right? So he does century shit and stuff. It's like crazy.
Yeah.
Where you run from like Squaw Valley to Auburn or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, the Western States 100.
Yeah, he does that stuff. But anyways, he also did some stuff at I want to say it's at the junior high there in Lincoln. He lives in Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
They were cutting all kinds of sports programs because they just didn't have the money.
Yeah.
And so Tony came up with the idea of doing a 24-hour run to earn money.
Right.
To donate.
For the kids?
For the kids, for the school.
For the school.
Mm-hmm. And so he did that. And was it the first one or maybe the second one he did? It turned out the Saturday the day he chose was pretty warm, and he was running, and so he's running for 24 hours.
Yeah.
You know, so the part of the day where he was running in the daytime, he got really dehydrated to the point to where when he had to stop and go pee, his pee he told me it was like Coke colored, which means that you're losing some of your kidneys.
Yeah.
Into your urine, like fibers of your kidney.
Oh boy.
Or whatever. And so they wanted him to cancel. He's like, I can't cancel this. So he just went on this hardcore, what do you call it?
Is it a prison?
No. Rehydration.
Oh, okay.
To continue to do the run as planned. But it was pretty touch and go, I guess, for a little bit there. They didn't, like doctors were telling him, you probably should cut not. Yeah, I should cut it short. He's like, I can't do that.
Shit dads do for kids, man.
Right. Yeah, because his kids were going to that school too, and so
Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
So the zebras.
I don't even.
Was it high school?
I think it was junior high at the time.
Oh, was he a coach up there? I bet my sister might know him.
I don't think he was a coach.
Ethan and Chloe, I think.
No, he was
Lincoln
just
for a time.
He just decided to do it. He wanted to do it for just to
Good
help.
Samaritan.
Yeah, just like and he was like on like Good Day, like all the news people came out, so it was like really well publicized. So people would donate more money, and you could just come. I mean, we went and watched him do a few laps and like donated some money, and it was a good cause. So it was kind of cool to see it. But yeah, that's kind of scary when you're that dehydrated that you're urinating your kidneys parts or whatever.
They're giving out on you.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like he's also like genetically blessed.
As long as I've known
I would
him.
not be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, as long as I've known him, he'll, even when we would travel, because we did a lot of traveling together, he would get up early in the morning and go run, in weird cities all over the place.
Yeah.
And he would just get up and go run, and he would come back and like take a shower, and I'd like wake up, hey man, what's up? He'd already been up for an hour and a half.
I ran through Tokyo, bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's how it was.
They call me the White Blur.
Yeah. I think there were some places where he was like, I'm not running here, Yeah. But for the most part, he
Hamburg?
No, like, I want to say like Boston, or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But it was, that was interesting. He was always running. He still is. He's always, He's sponsored by even like Brooks shoes.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Or at least he was for a while. So.
Shit, good for him.
Yeah, I don't know if he still is into it as he was, but I want to say at least a year ago he did, I think, the Western States or something. And then I know he's done like the Tahoe Rim trail and all that.
We did, I remember, because I know in high school as a senior, we did like a chunk of the Western States 100, the Tahoe chunk.
Mm-hmm. So like from Squaw.
Yeah, it was. I think each of us had like 5 miles.
Don't
maybe.
you start at Squaw Valley and then you have to go up over the mountain and then down the back?
God.
And it's sort of like this, but it's mostly downhill after you get over the crest.
I don't remember if it started at Squaw. I think it started much closer to like North Shore, like Truckee, if not. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. The town at the top of Lake Tahoe that you come into.
The top of Lake Tahoe? Oh, Incline or
no?
Tahoe City?
Yes, I think Tahoe City.
Oh, well, that's actually further than Squaw because you passed.
Yeah,
Squaw
I think
to
it was.
Oh, okay.
I think you passed.
Oh, weird.
I can't remember, but I remember running around the lake though, so I'm not sure.
Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I have no desire to do that.
Yeah.
No thanks. Yeah. And I mean, they're having feet issues, and if it's hot or if there's rain or whatever, I mean, it's just a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's
hard.
Yeah.
And then elevation too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Not for me, man. I hope other people are good with it.
So that'll tie into so it's not for Venus either. But if you've been following, so way back when, God, that was probably January, February when we were doing the show, and I think we had told the story that her and her girls that she exercises and runs with at the time had done relay for last year's California International Marathon, and then we were talking in the kitchen.
So relay being you have a team of people, it's just like relay run. Okay.
Yeah.
So
and
you're not doing the full thing.
No, they weren't. She was just doing a chunk,
like a quarter or
just
fifth
to
or something.
participate.
Okay.
Yeah. So she was getting jawed at by her girlfriends in the kitchen, and she, I walk in and she said something to abbreviate the whole scenario how this started. She's in the kitchen jawing about how she's getting told she needs to do the whole thing, and I called her a pussy and said that she wouldn't, and then I said, I'll do it, and then Piper said, well, I'll do it. So now we're all doing it.
And then Venus was like, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you, I have to do it. So I am not blessed in with running things, but I'm average at best. I have passed on average athletic genes to my daughter. So, we just try. Venus,
I think if you try hard enough and you work hard enough, you can be
probably.
decent,
So, but she's not getting any genetic advantage of endurance running from me, and she's certainly not getting it from Venus because Venus does not want to run.
Okay.
But she can. She'll swear up and down that she doesn't want to, but she can do it. And she's a fucking trooper because she's still doing it. She also has a totally awesome group of girls that help her
support.
Yes, I mean, and I think that's probably the biggest difference because I run on my own at a pace that's faster than her, which would probably be like a thief to her self-esteem if you were, because she's not a runner by choice. Right. So we've been training hard. Her and her team of girls and friends have all been training hard. So we had, the way that our training regimen plays out, we had a half marathon, what would be a week and change back. It was on a Sunday. It was the Urban Cow half marathon. Sacramento Urban Cow half marathon. It was our 15th anniversary.
I don't even think I ever heard of that one.
You get a cowbell.
Okay.
And this huge ass medal. It was totally awesome. Huge medal
for completing it.
For completing, yeah.
Okay.
And a cowbell. Well, if you did the half, you got the large medallion medal because it was a 15th anniversary. Finishers all got a cowbell. It was awesome.
That's pretty cool. That's total Sacktown thing right there.
Oh yeah, and I meant to look up to see if the cowbell thing was like the side thing relative to the Lakers and the Phil Jackson cowbell.
The Kings and
yeah.
all that. Yeah.
So, but I never got there. Now I will say. So we all three did it. Venus did it, I did it, and Piper did it.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you that I completed it, and I did as well as I thought I would do. And that's all I need to say about me completing the race. Because the real story is that my daughter has never run that far before and did it.
Mm-hmm.
And Venus, through the course of the training with her girls, every time she goes out to get the next big training day is a mileage that she is now like the next level. It's a mileage she has never completed that distance before.
All right.
So the closer she gets to December, every time she goes out and hits
one of the furthest.
It's the furthest she has ever run.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I know, she has never not hit the distance. Her and her friends have never not hit the distance. So the 13.1, the half marathon, was the furthest she had not yet run.
Okay.
They all finished.
Yeah.
It was fucking amazing. I can't
cool.
tell you how proud, and it was fucking my daughter's there too.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
You know, they ran it at their own pace, and Tracy, Adrian, Venus, they had 4 of them, right? They all had these Harry Potter jerseys. It was Axio finish line. So if you're a Harry Potter fan, it means bring me the fucking finish line. They all had jerseys. They were totally fucking themed out. They had 9 3/4 hats on. They made it fun. They all finished it.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell that they were tired. So when I finished mine, I came back around to the finish line, and I was getting SMS alerts for where Venus was at on the course. Mm-hmm. So I could see their pace, and I could see how far out they were. I'm like, fucking hell, I'm going back out
I'll go and run with them. Show off.
Hell yeah. I got a cowbell now, so fucking I'm going to ring this shit. So I could see them in the distance. They're coming around. It was a really awesome like finish line. Everything, wide open, so you could see everyone.
Yeah.
Really well prepared race. Everything as far as facilities and stuff was awesome. And I could see them coming around. And I'm ringing my fucking bell. Go guys, ladies. And I find out that like they're, when you get that far, you're like tired and everything's are hurting. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I was fucking crying because you were there. Like I didn't. Like I'm just a happy dad. I did. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was awesome to see. It was awesome to see her and Piper both do something that wasn't in their wheelhouse. It wasn't necessarily something
outside their comfort zone.
Yeah. Comfort zone. Mm-hmm. And, my apologies to my daughter that I didn't give her any sort of athletic talent. So she just crushed it with what she had. Mm-hmm. And the same with Venus. Now they leaned on their friends, but you would expect to be able to do that. Yeah. And they all finished.
That's why they all train together and run together.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, if she were to train with me, which is how we do a lot of stuff here in the house, we years back before we started to have the kids, we did the P90X thing together. I think that was a little bit different. But as partners and husband and wife, we help feed each other's the goal settings to like get here. But at some things, we almost have to distance ourselves from each other because
you don't want to be competing with each other.
Right,
yeah.
But to set her goals relative to mine would be unfair. And the same goes the other way. There are some things she's just better at than I am, and we don't compete there. Mm-hmm. When we're trying to do this, it would be almost self-defeating if she were to try and train with me. But also, where if I just tried to be a good guy, if I have a goal to try and beat my own time from when I was a young buck, I would be hurting my own goals in trying. So we have to train separately. So she has found with her friends,
you have different speeds,
right.
Different lengths of runs.
In this case, I need to train at a place that she couldn't race at, and Piper can't either. So, it's amazing that she has the group of friends that she has, as well as Piper to and they love Piper as well. So she fits in there, and they all feed off each other and help each other, like encourage each other to get going.
That's great.
I was very proud.
Mm-hmm.
I was glad to see them do it. There are days when you're sick and you might miss a day or something, and she's had that, and so have her girlfriends. And Piper doesn't put in as much training as she could, but I don't expect that because she has school. So I think she's leaning on a little bit of her youthful vigor. Is probably the same way I did when I ran it the first time when I was 19. But she goes when she can with the ladies to train, so she's putting it out there. I'm very proud. It was a great day.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and then she went out with lunch with the rest of the ladies that all came from the Kaya gym.
Mm-hmm.
They grubbed on calories. Like I think I said, I came home. I'm like, I don't want to go out to eat. I ate 2 fucking ribeyes. So I got my protein back and pickles. So pickles with the salt tend to help.
Okay.
No,
because pickles suck.
Yeah, repotentize my body. And then what I thought I would end up in like a exhaustion coma from having all that protein and the running, I ended up just fine the rest of the day. I think they expected me to be passed out in the bed, but I was like, nah.
You went for a jog.
Now you're gonna play Destiny or something. So yes, I owed that story to the ladies because I was very proud. They did an amazing job.
Yeah, that's great.
And we're halfway through the training. So the next stop is we have somewhere in
next stop is marathon
November. I think we have like a 20-mile pace. It's like they also staggered it right in the training regiment to do I think it's along the American River, a 20-miler.
On the bike trail or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's hashtag Hi Sarah. I think Sarah probably has run on there before. Probably certainly will. Hashtag Hi Will.
That bike trail goes all the way to Folsom.
Yeah, not shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm surprised you don't use part of it for the California Marathon.
We may. Like I said, 19 years ago, the course could be different than when I ran it originally.
Yeah, I think it's early enough in the day that it's probably easier to shut down roads for a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
At least until it starts getting spread out.
But I'm curious to see, like rain. And we've been fortunate-ish, I guess, relative to being able to train. It hasn't rained, but I imagine it's going to happen.
You going to run in the rain?
I fucking yeah. Yeah.
You got to, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Are you got rain gear or are you just
I have like a shell thing and I don't worry about my legs. I'm a little bit curious what happens oh, I'm not wearing my other running shoes, but they're open-toed. It's like a mesh thing. So I'm like, man, do people really just slop around with
think about people doing the steeplechase, right? They're jumping over into the water.
Yeah, I'm a little bit. I guess that'll be good.
Do they when they're running, does it go
yeah, how much can your water wicking socks actually wick? Water wicking socks actually wick? Well, if you step in a fucking puddle.
Well, I think it depends on the shoe. If the shoe is airy enough, then it could expel the liquid more.
Yeah.
But if it's more closed up shoe, then it might have trouble.
Maybe I don't look forward to what happens as far as blisters.
Just drill holes in them.
When it happens. I saw.
Oh no!
I wonder if it was because I was on the sad dad. If I might, did you see the video of the guy that drills holes in his work boots?
No. For what purpose?
Because it makes them a little bit more cushy.
Oh, no.
So he takes like a fucking 9/16 drill bit into his like Wolverines, and he
just to make it more
into
comfortable?
his boots. Yeah, so they're a little bit more spongy because he was a welder And so he's like, I'm on concrete all day or pavement or doing
tough.
stuff. I'm on my feet all day, and these boots are comfy. But you know what I do to make them extra comfy?
Oh, wow.
And he
That's
just
kind of crazy
flat
because
out.
those typically those boots are not cheap.
No.
You know what I mean?
And he's like, and if you're concerned of whether or not you're going to wear through your soles and, and end up with like these holes on the ground, he's like, you're going to wear out your boot before you get to the holes.
Probably, yeah.
He's like, and push come to shove, you just re-sole.
Yeah.
All those high-end work boots you can re-sole anyway. It's like, re-sole your shoe and then drill new fucking holes in the slide.
Oh, my God.
Wow, that's...
That reminds me of
the difference it makes.
way back in the day. So when we first started snowboarding, nobody made specialized like boot gear. Like nowadays, you have Burton and
Solomon makes.
Everybody makes boots that are specific for snowboarding.
Yeah.
Our snowboarding boots were Sorels, right?
Oh,
and they didn't fit in the
bindings.
the binding that well. So I remember like shaving off. Like one of the they're still like that, but shaving off one chunk so it would fit in the
binding
good, because otherwise the rubber would like kind of
because that was before. Now the boots are fucking
and they're bucks.
Oh yeah.
Well, Sorels weren't cheap either. I think I
No.
paid like $80 or $90 for a pair of Sorels, which I still have, which is funny because they're like 10s or 10.5s, and I wear a 12 now. So
wow, I didn't know your shoes were that big.
Yeah, I wear them in the snow all the time. They're just big enough that my feet can still be okay in them,
Yeah. And we have come full circle with bindings, because I remember they originally started with like the ratchets, but at some point in the early aughts, they went into the clicker ones that was like a step in, and it was like almost like a entire hard shell ski boot type of boot.
Well,
but there was no ratchet. You just stepped in it.
Yeah.
And it was, and that was the bee's knees. I'm like, oh, this is the best because you don't have to sit down and like ratchet shit. You just step in it, clicks, and gone.
I think it kind of depended on what kind of feel you wanted, because those boots will give you a really like super control of the board, right?
Oh yeah, they were snappy.
Whereas with, and so you don't have any slop in the boot.
None.
But if you're if you're riding with soft boots, you have some play there.
Yeah.
But you don't get as much control. But most people, I think, prefer the soft boot. I think the hard boots were typically for guys who wanted to go downhill on a snowboard or something. Where they're like racing.
I only did it because they were cool and new, and it meant I didn't have to sit on my ass
and
as
buckle
much
up.
to buckle. Yeah, it was like snapping in like a ski,
short
of.
I didn't have to sit down most of the time. You could just like kind of dig the back heel in. And
now we're fucking pro. No, it's like you get off and you've got like it's almost like pre-ratcheted a little bit. Now you just.
Yeah.
Now you're already sliding down the hill, and you're like, who's your daddy? Yeah, fucking.
Oh, let me take this cornice while I buckle my thing. Hook.
Oh man, I didn't even get the top one. Shit. Here, I'll just method and slide this thing over.
Exactly.
No big deal.
Yeah, no, but man, I miss that. Miss that board.
I hope we get snow this year.
Oh yeah.
Once I'm done with marathon, I'm fucking. I would love to get the kids up the hill.
Yeah.
To snowboard.
Yeah.
Because I'm in shape.
Mm-hmm.
There's no break-in obviously a different set of muscles, but it won't be like, I'm laid out for 2 fucking days because I haven't used my quads or my calves in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I remember those days, like going board and like for the next 2 days you were like, oh.
God, why does my ass hurt? Because I sit in a cushy Aeron chair.
Oh, shit. Jeez.
Or your wrists from like...
Oh, yeah, from pushing
yourself back up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even your forearms.
Oh, yeah.
Right
Everything gets blown out.
Oh, jeez. What was I doing?
Good times.
What was I doing? I think it was 2 weekends ago. I was working... Oh, I was cleaning up the wheels on the Cadillac.
Yeah.
And, spent all day, like, pulling off the wheels and cleaning them and, like, repainting them because they looked like shit. And for like 2 days after that, my legs were just killed. I'm like, I didn't do anything. It's not like I was doing anything.
Like, what happened?
I don't know.
Were you crouching?
Yeah.
Kneeling?
Yeah, a lot.
But your back was fine.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that weird? I don't know what's up with the...
Your back was like, yeah, we hurt last month.
Well,
you can go ahead. Knees. What do you want? Legs? Fuck it.
It was still kind of a, like, oh, my back's a little tender. It was tender.
Yeah.
But my legs were just like...
We're done.
Yeah, on fire.
Hey, this whole standing shit.
Yeah.
No.
Stop bending over. You know what I mean? It would take like 10 or 15 minutes just to like tape off the tire so you weren't spraying on the tire.
Yeah.
And then, then you're like leaning over using the spray. Whatever.
Yeah. So, yes, we should do it. I would love to get the kids up there.
You know, it's one of those things too where it's like I can not snowboard for a long time, and then it's just like riding a bike. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I get up there, it's like the first run down is a little bit kind of just getting and then after that it's just boom down.
Because I would have to go at least twice, because one time has to be as a sad dad, and then the other time is just dad helping.
Wait, you mean sad dad meaning you're a parent?
Right.
Okay.
And then the other one is going ham.
Well, what you can do is just take them down a whole bunch for half the day so that you tire the crap out of them. They don't want to go back up.
Oh, my ass hurts, Dad.
I don't want to go. Just sitting here by the lodge.
Can I ski? Go fucking start walking home.
I'll pick you up at
Skiers
Colfax.
walk home.
Yeah.
Call Donna. Have Donna pick you up.
Yeah.
Fucking skiers.
Oh. You know, that was funny because my daughter,
Venus is like, I like to ski, asshole.
I hate
Hashtag
skiing.
I love you.
I'm not a skier.
No.
But my daughter, like, I think Shanna's a skier.
Yeah.
So she took her when kids were much younger, and took her skiing, and she just did not like it at all.
Really?
Yeah. And she would just like straight down the hill,
Yeah.
out of control, and was like, this is a nightmare. And then Chandler, snowboarding wise, he would be, I would just call him, he's probably better now, but at first it was just like chaos.
Oh, yeah.
It looked like chaos going down the hill.
Like a whirling dervish.
Yeah. Uncontrolled, like didn't really know what the fuck he was doing. And it didn't matter what you told him.
Sometimes he was on his head. We don't know what the fuck was going on.
Point him straight down the hill, and you're like, I don't know. He's going to end up at the bottom somehow.
Watch out for the tree.
Yeah.
Sonny Bono.
Yeah. But I remember, did I tell the story? We went skiing we had a buddy who was a big time skier. Like him and his whole family would go skiing.
Yeah.
Did I tell the story?
I think you did. But it was probably last winter.
Yeah. Well, he would give me shit about, oh, you're a snowboarder and all this crap. And then we did a scout trip up to like Boring Hill. And so I caught up with him. I'm like, hey, man. So we rode the lift up, and then we're getting off the lift. And I let him go down the hill, and I ended up catching up to him. I'm like, hey, and I like passed him. He's like, fuck
off.
Yeah, he couldn't believe how fast I was on my snowboard compared to what he was doing. And they're pretty adept skiers, so
yeah.
Not that I was kicking his ass. He wasn't ready for me, but he was surprised.
Yeah.
I was like, I can hold my own.
Don't you belong in the park, dude?
Now, don't send me down the fucking moguls, because that'll wreck me.
Really?
You spend any time on a snowboard in the moguls?
I always took that as a challenge. I was like, you know what? These are made for skiers, but I'm going to do this.
I'm going to carve this shit out of this.
Fuck.
Oh, that's just so much work. So much. Moguls are so much work on a snowboard.
Yes.
Yes.
It's hop. Hop.
Dude.
Oh, my God. I'm so excited for snow.
Yeah. Well, that's the other problem, too, is I don't have a board anymore.
Yeah.
So
now I think there's probably so many more options for, like, rentals, though. You probably stop there at Forest Hill at that one snowboard shop and just be like,
I used to be able to do it right there at Sport Chalet,
Oh, yeah.
We used to.
I wonder if Dick's does it, though.
Oh, they might.
Dick's does all kinds of stuff. Do they rent snowboards, though? They don't have Nerf turbo footballs, but they may rent snowboards.
They might. Well, I mean, Sports Chalet had that big rental station in the back. I don't know if you ever noticed that.
I've seen this winter stuff at Dick's, though.
I have only been to Dick's like twice.
Really?
Yeah.
If
we're looking for something specific.
Your sporting needs for your minions is kind of mitigated at this point.
When your children are 18 and over.
Yeah. Go get your own shit at Dick's.
Yeah. You know the address, right?
Yeah.
Let me text it to you. Yeah. Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye.
No, we just don't have the need for like a lot of sporting goods anymore.
Mm.
I mean, if we're going somewhere, we're looking for like camping things, and we haven't even done that in a while, just because we're busy all the time. It seems like
is that sirens in my ear? Is that outside?
No, it's in here. It's in the garage.
The kids are playing something. Nope.
But anyway. So, but yeah, I definitely want to go. I say that every year, and it just doesn't happen.
No. Although last year you were still... Is this going to be... Was Millie already gone this year Christmas, or is she still senior year?
No, she is almost...
Oh, yeah, she's 1 year.
She's almost a junior now.
Yeah.
She'll be a junior next semester because she got lots of credits for AP classes. Well, that's why she chose to go to Fullerton over going to like San Diego State, because she got accepted to San Diego State. That was her dream school, but she found out that all the AP courses she took in high school, San Diego State didn't give her any credit for them whatsoever.
Oh.
And Fullerton did. So that put her like basically a semester ahead.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's why she's going to Fullerton.
What AP courses did she take at?
AP History, AP Gov.
Really?
Yeah, I mean all the ones. I don't even know.
Minis.
A bunch of them. There was 4 or 5 AP classes at least. And then you have to take the AP test.
Yes, we were just talking. We had to pay for the test if Piper's taking an AP course.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, shit. You can't just pass a test. You've got to go take things saying you...
Well, I think the test is optional. The actual AP.
I think you need to take the test to get the credits, though.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not cheap. It's like $125
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We paid for a few of those.
Yeah.
For sure.
A semester's worth.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we did help the school.
Yeah. Way to go. Good job.
So, yeah. So, do you have any other good things going on over the weekend? Because I had kind of a shitty weekend.
No. No? I mean, Mr. Venus is out at Mendo helping her mom, who had who'd been fighting like a sciatic thing for quite some time. I think Venus and I, had a talk with her about the type of fusion that Mike and Toast have had. Mm-hmm. While I don't necessarily know if it was 100% the same issue that Susie was having, that's where she ended up having to go as far as like getting rid of the pain. Now, as far as I know, she's pain-free at this point, and she's at home. The surgery went as well as could be expected. I think she spent an extra day in the hospital just because she could. But everything, there's no complications. And I think she was rounding a corner. Still a little bit
sore or whatever.
Yeah. She's still on pain mitigation. But everything Venus had said so far has been, she's doing well and pulling through it. Already does like a little bit of her own PT stuff, and she's got her own regiment. We had talked about last night. Venus had poked in on the ring cam in the living room as we were like cleaning up dinner, and someone's like, "Hi, hello, how you doing?" I'm like, the fuck is this? Overlord.
That's weird.
So yeah, she's been out of town, and it's been Mr. Mom here for the week so far. I think she comes back Friday. I'm not quite sure. I mean, we have an anniversary at some point this month.
Your wedding anniversary?
Yeah, so I think she was probably attempting to come back for that.
What year?
What year? What?
Anniversary?
I'm 40 something.
No, your wedding anniversary.
It's 2015.
This is funny because
I have a great marriage and I love my wife, but don't ask me for details on how long.
I struggle with this as well. I think it's a sad dad thing.
It could be. I have so many numbers. I know the date, and I would have to start doing maths in my head, but now I'm getting nervous, and if I say the wrong number, I may be in more trouble than not knowing at least the day.
I think that we got married in 2004.
I want to say 2001.
Really? No. No, not 2004. No, 94.
You got married when I was graduating high school.
Yeah. 94.
Are we that far apart in age?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Because I graduated in 89.
I'm 43, going to be 44 this year.
Yeah.
You are
48.
Oh, well, that seems far but not far.
Yeah.
When you put it
into
context of you getting married when I was graduating seems
that's
further than
right.
It's about 4 years.
Yeah, 94, so how many years is that from 94?
Yeah, I don't do math. That's the computers. If we could ask Siri or Google to do that for us.
I know we had our 25th anniversary already.
We just speak into the Wemo.
25.
I mean, it would be 18 years for me, I believe. I know.
18.
2001.
I honestly don't know. I don't know. My brain's fried.
But we've been together since 94, which is even further.
We met in 1988 in high school.
Yeah, same with us, Venus and I.
Yeah, Ted introduced us. Hashtag hi Ted.
Hashtag hi Ted.
Yeah. Ted introduced us, and he worked at the Rack's roast beef that used to be at...
Was it like a butcher?
No, it was like an Arby's kind of place.
Oh, really?
But it was called Rack's Roast Beef. There's a Rack's Roast Beef out in front of Bel Air at Sunrise and Kirby.
Okay.
So he worked there, and a couple people that Shanna knew also worked there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I forget exactly the story, but it was like, oh, I know somebody you should meet, kind of a thing.
I got a friend.
Yeah. So
from there on.
Yeah, I mean,
what, little break in between or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Venus is the same way. High school.
We
knew each other for longer in high school.
We were way different people back then. I mean, I don't mean way different people like her and I were. I mean, we were different, but we were. I mean, that's a lifetime ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we were.
Yeah.
So we were quite a bit different then than we are now, is what I'm trying to say, as individuals.
That's what's cool about finding the soulmate.
Yeah. And then it was funny because then it was hanging out with Ted, and Shanna and I hadn't really been dating, and it was like, whatever happened to Shanna? And it was like, you should call her.
And you're like opening up your wallet, and you're like, I don't know, but I miss her so much.
As I petted her picture.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is like
heavy petting.
I had rubbed off all of the image, so it was just.
It was just like a rubbed image with hair, like Cousin It, and you're like, Shan.
With like 2 or 3 fingers missing.
I don't even know what she looks like
anymore. I opened up my wallet and I said...
But I miss her hair so much.
Look at her hair.
Do you see Shan's hair? What's her hair look like?
The one that got away. I don't even remember what her face looked like. So it was like, and then Ted's like, you should call her. So I did. And then we just kind of...
You flipped the picture over and the number was just like 7 finger finger
dirt mark
713. You're like, fuck.
I don't even remember. Like, it's a long time ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Senior year.
1984 plus 20. Oh, no, that's not right. No, did I say 1984?
Yeah, you did.
1994 plus 20. Let's see,
I can't believe you're not just dictating it to Siri.
Oh. Wait. So this will be our 26th. We had our 25th anniversary this year.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I can't remember if you did something.
We didn't because I was at work.
Oh, yeah. You were in Vegas?
Yeah, I was working at the show.
Did she come down?
No.
Was she going to? I thought she was. No?
It didn't work out this year.
You did that prior, though, didn't you?
Yeah, that was on our 20th anniversary.
Okay.
So this will be our
crossing wires for me.
Yeah. So on our 20th anniversary, she came, and so I was working. It's a typical thing. It's like NAB is every year at the same time.
Yeah.
And it always seems to be right on our anniversary. So
it's hard to dodge.
Yeah. You know, it's like, okay.
I mean, it's like a pinnacle work thing, so you got to hit it.
Yeah, so it's like we go to the show and it's like, well, AJA used to have a big party, huge party, and it was and they would rent out like a club at one of the casinos for the party.
Yeah,
and it was like open bar, dancing. It was crazy until like 2:00 in the morning.
Right. So
it was cool. You wanted to go to the party, and so Shan was like, "Oh, I'll fly out and we'll go to the party, and then
yeah."
And then I'll fly home. It's like, cool. So she flew out and came to the show, and then we went to dinner, and then we went to the party and got friggin' smashed out of our gourds. Yeah. That was our 20th anniversary. Yeah, that was pretty cool. So
your son is very upset about his car or something.
Oh, he is still?
I think so. I think him and Mike are bantering back and forth about what he did to his car.
Well, I think he's just got a loose wire, to be honest, because it's a Volkswagen, and I'm not saying that. No, but what I mean by that is
the Germans we are good at engineering, but shit at wiring.
So Data's stereo in his car isn't turning on with the car, and there is a Maestro, iData Link Maestro,
right,
in the car, and that thing controls the turn on of the stereo, because it's a Volkswagen, and Volkswagens don't turn off the stereo when you turn the key off. So like I remember my wife had a Jetta, and when you turn the car off, the stereo would stay on and you had to actually click it off.
Right.
To turn it off. Well, this car does the same thing, but being a modern car, they have ways of managing that stuff now. But if you replace the stereo with an aftermarket stereo and you don't use an the iData Link Maestro,
right,
then it will stay on and you have to turn it off. That stereo doesn't have a turn off, so you have to have the Maestro.
Okay.
So I think the Maestro has a loose wire or something. It's behind the stereo, so you actually have to pull the stereo and pull the Maestro out.
Right.
And I think that there's a loose wire on the Maestro, which is preventing it from powering up the deck.
In any of his work with Mike and on his new box, did they have to mess with the deck at all? I know he ran new power, right?
Just power, but that goes to the battery.
Right. So, but he didn't have the
remote lead was there.
Yeah, they didn't mess with the
the
deck at all.
No, and he's had some issues with this in the past, and it's just so happened that it's worked pretty good. So it just makes me think that there's something not right about the Maestro, or the wiring to the Maestro, or between the Maestro and the stereo.
Yeah.
Something like that. So, but the Maestro, not only does it control the power for the stereo, but it also retains all the steering wheel controls.
I remember when I did the Focus, that was, because now they're not, I mean, when we did, or I don't know if you did, with stereos as younger, it was the deck. The deck was the entire
completely separate.
Right. The deck was the brains of the thing, and that's all you needed. Now with all of the integration with the touch screen and whatnot, if you want to retain any of that functionality, and then add aftermarket stuff, you need essentially something that's going to do translation from aftermarket things.
Yes.
To the ECU of the car, because the ECU is doing so much shit now.
Right.
In conjunction with the radio. To maintain all of those services, you need like the Maestros, or a number of companies make a version. JL Audio has one too, I think, at this point.
Yeah, Audio Control has one.
Yes, they have one. So you need like this interceptor big brain to then talk to the car to retain all of your shit. Yeah. So it's not surprising. It was a net new for me when I did the RS as well.
Yeah, I mean, some of these cars like the RS or my Cadillac or bunch of cars that are out now, you really can't. They're not designed to have that head unit replaced because they're so integrated into the vehicle.
I would agree, unless you're going to some premium shop that's fabricating and putting like an iPad touch thing in there and like completely gutting it and replacing it with some sort of all-in-one aftermarket net new thing. They're not intended to.
They have
replace it with a double din. It doesn't really work that way.
No,
anymore.
They don't. But they have. There's a bunch of Chinese companies, and doing my own research. Mm-hmm. They make what they call are Tesla style replacements. So in the Cadillac, they have the Cadillac Q system,
right?
And it's its own touchscreen, but it's all integrated in the car. So you can buy this Cadillac ATS Tesla style. It's a big screen. It replaces the entire thing. It replaces all of the AC controls and the stereo. So the whole thing, it's a big screen. It replaces the whole thing, and it runs on Android.
I want to say I've seen something.
It's
like
ugly
that.
as fuck. It's they make it look like it's supposed to be factory. It matches the interior, all that shit. But the interface on it is just god awful.
Oh,
they look terrible, in my opinion. If they in order for me to want it, it would have to look like it was supposed to be in the car.
Right. I would not want to use
an
Android UI.
No, and they do some. There is some customization, and then they have. I think that they sell this thing, or at least the software and the hardware.
Mm-hmm.
That like the screen bezels might change, but they'll sell the same thing into multiple vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
So literally, you get the unit, and when you buy it, it's configured for your car. But you can go into the back end settings and change it to look like any other, like an Audi, for instance, or a whatever. I don't know, fucking Subaru. But and then so if you buy the one with the Cadillac, it'll have like a picture of a Cadillac and have the Cadillac logo in and all that stuff.
I wonder what they use for the screen, because I remember Will mentioning that
it's like a 10.4 inch.
The Teslas are having that problem because it's a computer screen. It's not intended to be inside a car that gets that hot on like a summer day in a parking lot. So the screens are yellowing.
Yeah,
I think he was saying. So I'm curious to know, and that's a net new for the car world too. I don't know of anyone that makes something that's intended to be high temp, durable over a length of time.
Yeah,
and capacitive.
Right.
A touch screen without.
Well, I was. Only reason why I was interested is I ran across in these Cadillac forums this one guy, like he does all this different modding of his car and stuff. And he had a video of him putting one of those in, and then he did a follow-up video of like a week or so later.
Him shitting on it.
Of him taking a dump on it. And then...
this is not a prison.
This is how it works. And, and he seemed to like it. But, man, I would have been comfortable with that in my car. But I mean, there is a lot of functionality you can have in there that you don't get with the Q system. Like the Q system won't let you play video while you're moving, and it won't. There's certain things. Yeah. There's like play or a motion thing that says turn these things off.
Right.
Even in CarPlay, it adheres to that. So you can't go into albums and see all of your albums. It'll give you some suggestions, but you have to use Siri to say play whatever album. If it doesn't show up in that list, your hose, you just have to tell Siri to play it. So they're really... But you can buy a bypass for it. So you can buy a bypass for the motion thing, and then all that stuff will work in the Q system. But that's $200.
Oh,
just to do a bypass.
I could just pull over and then find something.
I could just tell Siri to play it. I don't need to. So there's lots of things you can do, and I don't know. That Android system just seemed cheesy to me. Just cheesy.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
No, I don't think I'd want. No. Yeah, I'm the same way.
It would probably be different if it was the Android Auto UI, but I have no problem with that UI.
Well,
actually, I like the new one.
Yeah, apparently they even have like a separate thing you can purchase for this unit that will allow you to have Android Auto and CarPlay.
So it replaced your climate control stuff too?
Yeah, it has.
Is it digital?
Yeah, it has like a little interface that kind of looks like the Cadillac interface.
Yeah.
But it wasn't 100%. It was like he was showing you a demo.
Yeah.
And one of the things like it does is like on the Cadillac, it has a multi-zone temperature, right?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things you do is you hit the sync button, and that syncs both the zones together.
Right.
The sync button didn't work.
Oh.
So now you're adjusting both of them.
Yeah. If it was not 100%,
no,
I'd be like, no.
And it was ugly as shit. You know what I mean?
How much was it?
I think they sell for $600, but he was like, "Oh, I talked him down to $475." And in addition,
that's like fucking red flag.
And he goes, and it doesn't support the camera that came with the car. So the backup camera.
Okay, yeah.
You have to get a different camera. So he's like, it came with the camera, and I'm like, so now you have to run. You already have a camera, but somehow it doesn't interface with that. So now you have to run, you have to install and run wires for another camera. And then he was like, well, this camera's HD. And I'm like, no, the fuck it isn't.
No.
It's not. It might be a little bit higher resolution camera than the Cadillac has, but it is not HD if you're plugging it in with an RCA connector.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude. It's just maybe.
You can send me one and I'll pilot test it, but I ain't fucking buying it. There's no way.
Yeah.
I would have a hard time replacing. I have physical dials. You're all digital?
No. So in the Cadillac, the way it comes is as a screen, and then it has a physical stuff for the. You can do it on the screen, or you can do it with the panel.
The Explorer has that.
Yeah.
I think Venus can do climate control with her screen as well as.
Well, one of the other things too is the part that has the physical controls on. If you swipe your finger underneath it, it lifts up, and there's a wireless charger for a phone in the dash.
Oh,
so you can put your phone in there, and if you line it up right, it'll charge a phone.
Is
right?
it the key one?
The key, yeah.
QI?
Yeah, a key charger.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you replace that. Are you just saying I'm never going to use the key charger?
I'm gonna help you out here and tell you not to get this. Just move on.
Oh, I'm not.
But
totally
it sounds,
Yeah. It's totally not for me because I mean, I'm okay with like replacing like in the CRV.
Yeah.
We bought a Pioneer stereo to replace the Honda stereo.
Right.
That is what it is. The Honda stereo is just a piece of crap.
Yeah.
Right? So we're replacing that with a screen, and it's great. This is like you're trying to replace like the factory-made design for the car Q system with this piece of shit Android thing.
When you've got these cars that are with that crazy amount of integration in there.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was a shock. Like when I went to I'm like, yeah, but how do I replace the screen in here? And it was
you don't.
You don't. You get you could do the speakers and whatnot, but unless you're working at a car shop where you can get really fancy and go full tilt, you don't. You buy things to integrate into the system, and that's how you get around it.
Yep.
And I went, well, this is going to take me a little bit longer to figure out how to work, because everything I knew was like, hey, like CRV.
Yeah.
I pull the deck out, I put a new deck in.
Yeah.
And you know.
Yeah. Oh, the Cadillac's a pain in the ass because it's got a Bose system in it. We've talked about this a little bit, you and I have, but the Bose system has 3 mics in the cabin that adjust things based on road noise it hears in the car.
Yeah.
And then also it listens to the audio coming in from the speakers and makes corrections like on the fly. And so that is really weird.
Does it have...
and if you want to replace the entire system, you have to bypass the microphones.
Does it have the ability to set distance?
I mean,
I keep meaning to ask Mike if he can do that. That was one of the craziest things that I didn't think I would notice that I noticed.
The staging?
Yes, that you can set with the Maestro in the RS. And it was distance from the driver's head to each of the speakers.
So it has that. You haven't done it?
No, I did it.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't think it would be a thing that I would be able to pick up on. But it is demonstrably different to sit in the passenger seat
than the driver's seat.
Than to sit in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll be damned. I would never have thought. I mean, we're talking, it's
2 feet.
2 feet. And then from one speaker, it's, a foot and a half at best.
Yeah.
Absolutely makes a difference. It blew my mind. I'm like, oh,
so I watched a video on the audio control. I forget what the model is, but it's the 8-channel, 810 DM810, I think is what it's called. And the guy that did the video is a dude who is, I think you've seen some of his videos, but he's a big stereo guy.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that he showed himself doing was taking a tape measure from like the tweeters to the head, from the door to the head, and like measuring all those and then putting them into the audio control. And I was like, damn, that's pretty impressive. Yeah. I mean, I assume you can change that too. You don't have to run with that. Is that a constant setup, or can you would have to change it on on that unit, right?
I would pull up the Fosgate. I can do it in the app. Yeah. I mean, if things changed.
Like if you wanted to adjust the staging so it was centered in the car for everybody.
Yes, I could just remap it, and as long as I knew it wants metrics. So as long as I just measured center and went to a speaker.
So does it have multiple savings that you can do? Like,
I don't think it had presets.
Like, here's some measurements and then save that out, and then here's some other measurements.
Yeah, I don't think it had profiles. I think you just do it you have one shot. Yeah. So it's like if I'm in the car, 0 fucks for everybody else. I'm sorry.
You're all getting the shit. Yeah, I'm happy.
You get shit staging, but right now,
Daddy's happy.
And
by the way, can you move your head a little because you're blocking that tweeter?
Yeah, this bass nectar is the shit. For me only.
At some point, I will dive into that, but it's...
when you get here, Mike, check your staging if you have that as a setting in your deck. #hi, Mike.
I know mine does. It has a staging. It's basically a fader thing that like shows the seats and you can move it around.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's
same sort of
same
thing.
Shit.
But you don't have measurements. That you just kind of move it to where you want.
I'm sure.
And then they have presets for like driver, center,
I would
front,
imagine
back.
When you start
it makes a difference.
Within inches, it's probably not as significant as like if you're staging everything to the passenger seat versus the driver.
What if you were driving on the other side? I'm kidding.
That's the UK.
Then you're in the wrong country.
I miss the UK.
You would.
We're at time.
Really?
Yeah. Even with our 10 minutes of padding banter at the beginning.
Yeah, we'll have to cut that out.
Yeah.
There's nothing good in there.
Because if I ever had an employer that was listening, hashtag fuck off with Fargo.
Who? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for tonight.
Yeah.
I'm spent from this week, to be honest with you. We'll talk about it next week, but
yeah, we could. I mean, I got story too, so we could be epic sad dad if we wanted to get there. I mean,
I talked about it on Twitter, but a little bit. Anyway.
Give yourself some time.
Yeah, I think next week
we'll get
probably
there.
be all right. Anyway. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week.
We'll catch you next week.
And we appreciate you listening.
All right, bye.